How does your media product represent particular social groups? I wanted my media to represent an older audience rather than having the general age groups which most big magazines show. Even though I wanted the pastiche of the magazines which are already out there, I also wanted to break that barrier due to the specificity with the genre. I wanted to also aim for the magazine mainly at men, as through research I have seen a bigger male following than a female following. The other reason why I have done this is because it links back to Ideal Self, Carl Rogers 1973, and being that my audience will be a majority a male following, and the majority of the features of the magazine will be DJs, which are predominantly male. I imagine that this will highlight Ideal Self very much. If I were to do features about particular artists, I believe that this will also show a male-predominant audience. As with male artists, it will show a big Ideal Self following. However, with female artists, again, it will show a male gaze. Laura Mulvey, 1977, as the artist shown will be very attractive and show a suggestion of what our readership would like to be with. Another consideration which was taken was the genre specific for the magazine. I wanted a predominant Northern Soul following for the magazine because it's what the magazine entails. However, because I did not make it obvious and it would branch into other subcultures such as mod, this meant that not only was the magazine audiences would be a lot larger, but also the content would be greater, meaning it could potentially have more success. The media product itself represents the social groups discussed because the content is pretty much obvious to what the specific genre is, as it says underneath the masthead, Northern Soul. The contents of the magazine backs this up with the use of house-style colouring, which is red, white and blue, suggesting RAF roundels, and it also signifies a classic mod band, which is a jam, which ties in with a subculture. The use of images as well throughout the magazine enforces the representation of the social group, as we see clearly a very Northern Soul look from our main cover image on the front cover, Stevler piece. And then also features pieces as well, Jordan Poole segment. I think with the house styles, it also represents the feel of being mod or Northern Soul, with its use through font and text. Users really believe that it creates the specific type of social group following. Another suggestion for the representation could be the advertising used, as there is an advertisement within the project work which shows a Northern Soul evening every second Saturday of each month. This is something put in because it's something which my readers will be interested in. I put it in there specifically due to the main cover story being about Stevler, which in turn will give Stevler more interest in his Northern Soul nights, which the magazine could potentially advertise at, highlighting horizontal integration through advertising. I also wanted to get across that the magazine was directed to a niche audience, as it was specific to Northern Soul and Northern followers. So for the magazine to only be produced in the north of England is something which I believe fits the criteria for a niche audience. The pastiche for a magazine called Expose, which is only produced in Sheffield, is where I took stimulus from, as it's a northern produced magazine which gave me the idea for the niche audience, and it aids in independent bands.